Welcome back to Six-Sided. 6 topics, 5 perspectives tonight. We're running low on panelists, but thank you very much for tuning in. We've got some huge talking points as Manchester City reach a £1 billion settlement with the Premier League. The football is returning, and we're asking a big question tonight. Are Arsenal superior to that of Chelsea this season? We want your thoughts. We want your opinions on that. We're also asking a big question as well on Six-Sided tonight. Have Man United made a mistake with Onana? That plus a little bit more. We've got a few other questions that we're not going to tell you what they are yet, but the fiction or football questions are going to get you all talking in the comment section. So make sure like buttons have been hit. Make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace as well. Very, very important to us that you do that. Gentlemen, how are you all? You all well and good?
Doing good, man.
Yeah, very doing good, man.
Very good.
How are you all coping with international football?
It's been dross. Trying to do anything else but watch football. So that's what you got to do.
Yeah, I watched American football instead. I watched my Steelers win.
That's what we do. Packers yesterday. Hey, Michael Parsons. That we're going to the Super Bowl. Week 1, we're going to Super Bowl. It's done. No. Yeah, I know that means nothing to you, Terry, but my team is.
No, I watched. Listen, I'm a very casual NFL fan. I watch a couple of games and I watch the Super Bowl every year. Cheer, but don't really care. I'm one of them ones. My team I want to win loses. That's what I love about the NFL, though. I'll go to the Super Bowl. I want a team to win, and if they lose, I have like zero bad feeling. I'm like, this is great. It's so different to when I watch football. Which is amazing. So, all that to go through. Make sure people are hitting like buttons. Make sure you're all subscribing as well. There was something said backstage, though, which is not part of the show tonight, but I've got to address it. I need the viewer's opinion. Man like Kane, okay, Top Knot Kane, we're going to call you. Top Knot Kane there. Shoreditch Samurai, right? You said that you think the World Cup is the most overrated tournament in the world. Is that? Am I remembering that correctly?
No, you are 100% correct. The World Cup is supremely overrated. International football in general is overrated. And when you hear statements like Emi Martinez is the best goalkeeper because he won a World Cup, Messi deserved the Ballon d'Or because he won the World Cup, even though Erling Haaland went on an absolute madness, is literally the definition of overrated. Look, it's
Kane.
It's gotten worse when they expanded the World Cup to include some of the less nations into the group stages, because then you got teams like Saudi Arabia. I know I shouldn't really be saying that given my allegiances to Newcastle, but like the standard is just terrible. And to qualify, we've got these dross games like England versus plumbers and electricians from Andorra, and it's just generally terrible. And the emphasis I understand the nostalgia, the heritage of the World Cup, but as an actual barometer of quality in players, it's supremely overrated.
I get what you said there, but in the same breath, I don't think you can use the plumbers as, well, obviously Andorra as the World Cup, because obviously at the end of the day, the World Cup, the main thing you look at is playing against the best teams in the world. And I'm not being funny. I don't think we're going to be seeing Andorra make it to a final. But what I disagree with is that if Andorra did make the final, do you know how great that is? That would be amazing. Because the moment they get a goal is vibes. I'm supporting Andorra for that game. Yeah. What I love about the World Cup is it's not even the football; it's the vibes that comes along. This is what I was going to say. 2010. The music in 2010, waka waka and all that, waving flags.
I love that. I even like the noise of the
amazing.
I don't think winning a World Cup. I think the World Cup in itself is amazing. I wouldn't put that down. Where I agree is England shouldn't be playing Andorra. And I give you an example. There was a tweet that went viral today that I know I'm a bit of an old man now shouting at clouds, but it made my fucking blood boil. One, it's had 31,000 likes, 6 million views. This gentleman here called Arjan, right? I'm sorry to say this, my friend. You might be a really nice guy, but fuck you. So it's one football tweeting Memphis Depay overtakes Van Persie to become the Netherlands' all-time goal scorer. And this man quote tweeted and said, "What did Cruyff actually do?" Taking the piss out of Johan Cruyff. And it's like, bruv, well, look, I obviously replied, and my replies had a lot of traction. That isn't why I put the reply in. I just couldn't bite my tongue, man. I couldn't bite my tongue. It's like, listen, this just shows, right? 33 goals in 48 international games for Cruyff in an era where there was far less international football matches being played. And it's like goals per game matter. People are like, what do you mean goals per game matter? It's like, what are we doing here? So one thing I hate about it, I'm taking nothing away from Memphis directly. Very talented player. But imagine over like a 10, 12-year career, there was only the opportunity to play 30, 40, 50 internationals max. Players now, as long as you don't get a bad injury, you can play 100 to 150 international games because there's so many every single year, plus tournaments. You should be seeing a lot of the goal scoring records get beaten. And my worry, if we're not educating the young fans properly, we're going to see people like Cruyff suddenly sitting 6th, 7th, 8th on these lists, and really good England strikers, really good Spanish strikers sitting 5th, 6th, 7th on these lists. But we're not going to take into consideration that sometimes they're only playing 2 or 3 or 4 internationals a year if there weren't a big tournament on, and yet they were scoring, and they were predominantly, like, if you look at Sir Jimmy Greaves and how many goals he scored for England, and look at who the majority of his goals came against, big team, they were. So for me, what I do with international football is, I was speaking about this morning, I'd keep the Nations League. I quite like it, but I would have it so only the teams that are in B or the A League, they automatically qualify for Euros and World Cup. You're fighting to be in those leagues. You're fighting to be in those tournaments. Then what you can do is, like David said, what you can do is pick some minnows that do something special, like set San Marino a goal. If you score more than 5 goals in the Nations League this season, you'll get a wild card entry into the World Cup. Like, set a little thing so that you can throw them in. Like, like you had like Chico on X Factor. Like, you're not really there for the singing, you're there for the entertainment. Let's do a little bit of that. But we've got to stop these big nations playing so many smaller nations, because the games are just so easy and drab. It's ridiculous. I do agree with that part. I do agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think San Marino let them score 5 goals. They can make it. Nah, let's not do that, because we're gonna get some really dross teams in the World Cup. We're gonna get Vanuatu and I don't even know, Fiji are gonna end up in that World Cup.
No, but what you could do, right? So the teams that are in the lower level, they're never gonna get into A or B groups in nations.
No, have them fight each other, and then the top 2 can.
Yeah, no, but I think
can do a playoff against the bottom.
No, you do goals.
Top 2 can do a playoff.
You do goals. No, don't play results, right? Do goals. So, for instance, it's like 3 of them max, but it's first come, first serve. So, San Marino, you've got to score 5 goals. Andorra, if you win 3 games, this nation, if you keep 4 clean, like 7 different goals each they've got to aim for, that'd just be hilarious. If you, and first through the door.
You don't want this to be Hunger Games.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
the most yellow cards, the team with the most yellow cards can come in. Bring some Sunday League into
even
it.
more fun, team with the most red cards, just for a laugh. You know what I mean?
Terry's such a stickler for the rules, and now he's setting up. Now he's trying to do match fixing between teams. It's brilliant.
All right,
no disrespect. No one's. I don't even think those nations want their teams to win. You can't be from San Marino and go to those games ever thinking they're going to win. Like, have you seen what they do? When they score a goal, it's like they've won the World Cup, and that's beautiful. So set them a goal to qualify. Imagine they go to the World Cup, right? And they scored a goal. Say to them, if you score at the World Cup, you're back in it next time. I love just do that, man. Like, it'd be amazing. And
have 10 up front.
Yeah, or something like. And no, sorry, Andorra, you can't come because Georgia did this. Actually, Georgia are pretty good, to be fair. This team did this. This team did that. Northern Ireland did that. They're there. But what you can do, Andorra, because you did win the 5 games, you just missed out. You can be the mascots. We could do something. Do you know what I mean? And
you're moving mad. Seriously,
this is
Hunger Games.
And also, we've really let Kane get off the hook. We've really let Kane off the hook.
I'm just saying, though, you're all coming up with these weird and wonderful, ingenious, creative plans in order to make international football that little bit better. It's, if anything, this is all going to my point that the World Cup in general, as a barometer of quality, is not it. For me, it's the Champions League. That's the barometer of quality when we're talking about high-level football. And
when the World Cup is everything.
It's not. Trust me, as a spectacle, it's fantastic. I understand like the whole nostalgia, the heritage, all that good stuff. Yeah, woo. But if I'm hearing Emi Martinez is an amazing goalkeeper because he won the World Cup, I'm sorry, that's the end of the discussion for me.
Do you hate your own country? Is that what this is? Are you a self-deprecator?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah,
I'm an army
I
brat,
think-
so I don't have a country to call my own, I guess.
You're what?
So I'm an army brat, so I grew up in Germany.
Like
and
my
then I
cousin
moved to
Ben.
England, and then
My cousin Ben's is a pretend Kraut as well.
see, there we go.
Yeah. My cousin Ben was brought up in an army barracks born in an army barracks in Germany.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know, even just international football in general. Maybe I'm just too passionate about Newcastle that any break away from club football is just I don't like it.
I hear you. Viewers, get those like buttons hit. Make sure you're subscribing. Get those bell notifications turned on for us as well. I'm going to ask the first question in a minute, but we obviously need to probably break this down a little bit for the viewers as well, in case they haven't read the news. But today, an agreement has been reached worth £1 billion for Manchester City in their fight with the Premier League. Man City have got the settlement, but the APT, so that is the Associated Party Transaction Rules, will remain in place. So some background in case people have forgotten. Man City challenged the Premier League's ATP rules, which were designed to stop clubs from inflating their sponsorship deals. I don't know which clubs were looking to inflate sponsorship deals, but some obviously were. So the Premier League had to put these rules in to stop people essentially cheating. An independent tribunal in February that had already ruled that these rules were void and unenforceable because 3 of the 25 elements were considered illegal. I don't know if the word was illegal, but so you wouldn't be able to enforce them. In March, City launched a new legal claim against the Premier League, so the second one, because the Premier League essentially amended the 25 rules to make sure they now complied. So they were void, they were not void, and they were enforceable. The City launched an attack on this and essentially tried to have the APT rules completely wiped out. However, the latest dispute, that case has now been settled. The Premier League informed clubs that the case has now been resolved without requiring another tribunal. City have accepted that the current APT rules are valid and binding. So City have now publicly admitted that the ATP rules are legal and above board. So City fans, you might still challenge it, but your club have said they are A-OK. On top of the Premier League have given City assurances that they will not be treated differently when securing sponsorship deals with Abu Dhabi-linked companies. They have a big deal worth about £1 billion with Etihad Airways on the horizon. That was blocked back in 2023. That's now going through. So that element is a massive win for Man City. Both sides agree to end the arbitration and comment no further. So there will be no more statements. There'll be no more talking about this. That has also been agreed. The outcome, look, City got what they wanted in practice, the ability to finalize these big deals. The Premier League get to keep the APT rules formally in place. They will not be going. And this idea of the wild, wild west, that APT rules would go, FFP would go, that has now effectively been put to bed with this compromise that has been met. That all being said, my question to the panel, and I'll go to David first on this, is fiction or football? Where's the question gone? Have I lost the question after all of that? I'm so poorly prepared. Sorry, people. Where's it gone? My apologies. I'm going to go get it now. Terrible hosting by me. If only I could sack myself, I would. No, because I've changed it from that one. I changed it. Sorry. Fiction or football? Man City dropping their case against the Premier League in relation to Associated Party rules doesn't bode well for their 115 case. They would not concede if there wasn't something bad coming the other way. Football or fiction, David?
That's a lot of words that my brain cannot.
So essentially, City have only backed out because they know something negative's coming. They're going to lose the 115, so they've pulled away.
I'm going to go with fiction because I believe that Man City will get away with the 115 because they had all those lawyers. That image of all those lawyers and the Premier League having 5 and City had 50, ever since I saw that, I was like, there's just no way. And nothing has changed my opinion on it. I just think they probably done bad things. Yeah. Has my club done bad things? Yeah. Has United done bad things? Yeah. Has Newcastle done bad things? Yeah. Are we going to get caught for it? Probably not. That's kind of how it works. So, yeah, City I think City get away with it personally. They probably have done something, to be honest, but I don't think that case affects their 115 case, and I think their 115 case will just. I don't know. I feel like if like we'd hear a lot more about it if they had done something like seriously wrong and they were going to get proven to be found guilty. But I just think it's gone so quiet. So I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna explode into anything. It's no fiction.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Yeah, go on.
I don't know. I feel I'm kind of along the same line. I don't know if they'll get away with anything per se, but I do feel it's kind of unrelated. I feel like Man City, either which way, would have wanted this to have happened in it, because at the end of the day, Man City end up with this £1 billion sponsorship deal with Etihad for whatever reason. So I feel like no matter which way the 115 goes, if they're guilty and like they get relegated, well, they still have £1 billion of investment. They can probably come back from any sort of situation if they're forced to sell people. I don't know we're kind of guessing what the implications of 115 would be, but regardless of whatever the result of the 115 would be, having an extra £1 billion worth of sponsorship into the club itself is going to benefit the club regardless. So I feel like that's why I feel like it's disconnected in a way, because this was just a win for Man City and helps them in whatever way happens in the future. Because really, we don't actually know what's going to happen in the future, because the sort of width and breadth of the charges are from like literal fraud to some sort of money tampering, which could have very different kind of ramifications. One could be like a 100-point deduction, or it could be like expulsion from the league automatically, or it could be just fines. So £1 billion will somewhat help with whatever way that goes.
I don't think this was necessarily to do with Man City. I think a lot of it is what they've actually wanted to try and do to suppress some like us, because the main part of this APT is fair market value, which is basically, say if you go to get a deal in, say if we wanted a plumbers down the road, what a lot of clubs that they've distributed have done is included shareholder loans with 0% interest. So say if a club loaned this business £1 billion with a 0% interest, it's like just giving them the money of that and saying the business is now worth that, which then they can then put into the club. Which I think, because a lot of this ended up coming around the time that we got taken over as Newcastle from the PIF. So I think a lot of this was to try and stop us, and say obviously Chelsea selling like their own hotels and stuff like that. I think it was mainly to stop other teams from getting to the point where City was, because at this point, City have already done a lot of interesting things to get to where they are, with the obviously, which has been from
Are you saying City are already part of the cartel?
I think City have already done some interesting things, which is why they've got a 115 case, and I just don't think they want anyone else to be at the level that they are.
So I always ask this question when it comes to the APT rules, FFP, and no one ever wants to give it a direct answer. Maybe you will buck the trend, Ash. If APT rules and FFP and PSR are purely to stop teams like Newcastle earning 700, 800, 900 million a year, how have City done that without cheating?
Well, that's why I think there is a potential that they will. I would 100% say they have cheated. I'd say a lot of them have. And I think it's going to be very hard to dispute it. That's why I say 115. I think there's going to be a 0% chance that City will come out of this and not be guilty on some of those charges. There's too many of them for them to be able to get out of every single one. So every single club will be guilty of it. If we got up to the level where we could make $1 billion revenue or whatever and spend it all, which I'm not going to lie, we have extended our revenue quite a lot from a lot of places, like doing these overseas tours, like in Asia and everything. but there is a level to be able to get up there really fast, which I think the only way to do that is by quote unquote cheating. And if we did that, I would say that probably we did as well. And I wouldn't have a problem in saying that. I think
what are you saying about this quest? Do you think, who do you see this as a win for? Do you think the Premier League have won here? Do you think City have won? How do you look at this?
To be honest, I think it probably plays in City's favour that the optics are they've managed to hold the Premier League back in a sense. Like, you've chased us, but at the end of the day, we settled. So if we're settling, you really have not managed to convince the people in a legal sense that we are the bad guys here. So I think they will feel like they've won, but there's a part of me that's like, I don't think it matters anyway, because I kind of look at this as this is City's way of saying we've paid our way in to the cartel, if you want to put it that way. This is our money under the table. Take it or leave it. And if you want to come after us, you can come after us. But you're going to meet 50 lawyers and a couple of tigers, maybe 2. You're going to meet everything, boy. We got everything for you. So I look at it just like, City were going to be good either way, but I don't think it matters because I'm not sure they're going to be able to pump any more money into the club to keep them as successful as they have been, despite whatever this freedom gives them. I think the reality is once Pep goes, the whole thing is just going to unravel and they will settle back down to being a team that's around 5th, 6th, 7th, some years I can imagine. And every now and then they'll challenge for the title, and every now and then they'll win a couple of cups, and that'll be it. But I think just for the higher ups in the sort of City structure, they will feel like, yeah, like Premier League, you tried it. We didn't necessarily pull your pants down, but your pants are showing. So hold that. That's what I think.
Look, City have got some concessions in this, and they've got their deal to go through. A few people in the comments are saying it's a £1 billion Puma deal as opposed to with Etihad. It's not what I read in a newspaper today, but if you're right, then I'll stand corrected. I think for me though, they were put when you go back and listen to what sometimes you got to assess what football fans are saying, what the media were saying, what people were looking at, and a lot of City fans were very confident that APT would go, finish, staying. So from the Premier League's perspective, they get to keep their rules in place. Whether you think they've won or not, they save a lot of face because the rules that only a week ago City were saying were illegal, were saying were void and unenforceable, there's been no change to them. All they've told City is, we'll make sure we treat you fairly. All the rules for the second, so they won in the first court case. They got 3 elements of the rule changed. The rule got changed and City tried to get the whole thing squished. Go back and read all the stories. City were trying to get it squashed. No more ATP. Now City are saying ATP's all good, man. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them ones there where, look, City have won in the sense of they've got their real outcome. And this is the bit I find most beautiful. It's a thing of booty. So well done, City, for proving me, Mr. Terry Michael Flewers, correct again. I don't believe there are cartels. I don't believe there are long-standing allegiances. I believe that each member of the Premier League, all 20 clubs, votes and push for rules that best suit them. Now, I used to think in a very basic way. An owner like Roman Abramovich will vote for the rules where he can spend as much as he wants because he's ambitious. But Tony Bloom isn't as rich as him. So if Tony Bloom also votes for the rule where it's unlimited spending, it doesn't matter how well run Brighton are. There's 20 to 15, between 15 and 20 other teams are all richer than him. Therefore, it doesn't matter how well he runs his club, he's not going to be able to compete. So he has to vote for rules and push for rules that limit how much the richer people can spend to give him a chance of catching them. It's never about being unambitious. It's about understanding that Newcastle's owners make every other owner in the Premier League poor. They're worth more money than the other 19 combined. So I don't look at it as, oh, you're trying to stop us, Newcastle. Yeah, Newcastle, you want the rules to change so you can stop all of us. Like, I'm not going to sit here and you're not going to be able to plead, oh, victim. All City have done is what's best for their club. And that's what I find beautiful, because what City have done, we want this gone. This is not fair on us. This is not fair on Newcastle, Everton, Villa, Forest. For a year, all those other fan bases have gone, oh, thank you, City. Thank you for helping us. The Prem have gone, we're keeping the rules, but you can have your deal. but you've got to tell everybody publicly that they're legal and they're okay and enforceable, and you agree with them. City going, oh, we're getting what we want. Fuck off, Forest. Fuck off, Villa. We're in the club. That's the bit I find beautiful, because this whole time, that was the bit that was ignored by the media, by fans. No clubs are like, oh, we've got United and Arsenal have got to stick together. No, Man United and City have been on the same side for an argument for the past 12 months. Both our clubs, along with many others, are fighting against salary caps. So when I hear United fans go, oh yeah, Ineos and that just want to lower how much you spend, they're never going to spend big again, then why would they be pushing for no salary cap? It wouldn't make you. They just they'd allow it to happen. So then they go, oh, we can't pay anymore because there's a cap. People just don't do enough reading on these things. So listen, City have got what they want. The Premier League have got their outcome. Will it impact 1-1? Look, I got that comment. I'm not sure. It was Mark Goldbridge who said that, by the way. Maybe it does mean that. Maybe the Premier League are looking at this. Sorry, maybe City are looking at this and they're thinking, we've heard a few bad rumblings. Maybe if we do this and we get on the right side of the Premier League, the punishment won't be so bad. Potentially. But I'm going to go with fiction on that one right now. But when it comes to who's won on this case, I think it's a nice even score draw. The losers in this case are your Newcastles, your Aston Villas, your Forests, because Puma ain't offering them £1 billion, right? And Puma are I'm not saying companies from other parts of the world are not legitimate, but what I mean is the Sheikh Mansour don't own Puma. His brother don't own Puma. His cousin don't own Puma. It's very different from Newcastle turning up and saying, there's this company in Saudi, doesn't have any employees, doesn't have any staff, doesn't make any products, doesn't have any services, doesn't actually have a website, but they want to sponsor the stadium £1 billion. It's you're not, the Premier League don't want those types of deals to happen. I agree with those deals not happening because it could leave Newcastle in dire straits if their owners ever pulled away. It'd be ridiculous to allow that to happen. And that's what those rules are essentially there for. What they're not going to do is to stop a team like City, one of the most successful teams of the last decade, getting good quality, high level sponsors from companies like Puma, from Nike, and whatever else it may be. So I think it's a win-win for all round, really, in my personal opinion.
Point of clarity, the sponsorship was from 2023 and it's from Etihad Airways and the First Abu Dhabi Bank, which is why it falls under the APT.
Yeah.
Because they have nothing to do with Puma.
Puma, comment from a Liverpool fan saying it was Puma, but yeah. Yeah,
no, that's a separate deal. That was just Puma doing the deal.
But even then, I do agree with the fair market value element, because again, if a massive bank or a massive airline says we're going to sponsor Real Madrid for 10 years and it's worth 800 million, if they turn around and say we're going to sponsor City that are very successful, 800 million, we're going to sponsor Man United 750 million. Oh, we've got one as well. Aston Villa, yeah, what's your one worth? Oh yeah, 3.5 billion. It's like, whoa, what are we talking about? 3.5 billion. How are you selling that? That doesn't make sense. So I think there needs to be these rules in place. But yeah, do you guys feel a little bit Kane and Ash, obviously Newcastle fans, do you feel like your big brothers have let you down a bit here in City? Do you feel like you've been hung out to dry by them a little bit? Do you feel like they've stabbed you in the back a little?
I agree with the fair market value. I think that should be in, because at the end of the day, if somehow we did lose like PIF or stuff, or they didn't want to do anything, if we had a sponsor that's quote unquote $1 billion plus in revenue and all stuff like this, you would obviously you want to have your new owners to have some sort of like backing. We're not going to get thrown under the bus. So I get that point of view, but yeah, I think it's always a difficult one, because at the end of the day, as Newcastle, obviously, I would love to be able to win the Premier League, but at the same time, as I understand, we're not going to get a sponsor that's going to be worth £10 billion that we could just get revenue and just pump into a new stadium and stuff, which obviously, which I will say, we do have plans to be getting a new stadium, which has been delayed and stuff. So I don't know if this could have potentially had an effect on that.
You know what? When the new stadium happened, because what's the reason you guys are the only club in England that's allowed to stick the away fans in the roof?
Do you know what? I love that. They're just literally 72 stories up in the air and they can't see anything.
And that's true. But again, I also think as well that does give you a little bit of an advantage
100%.
at home. And I hope there must be something. There must be an issue with the way your stadium is constructed that they're allowed to do it, because nobody else is allowed. So that's the one thing I'm hoping happens when you get that new stadium, is that, again, it will change the dynamic of your home games short term, because you're not used to having like away fans pitch side. It really helps you guys create that crazy atmosphere.
I just hope we get, I just hope we get one of those, the beer things that Spurs have got where they put the glass on and it comes up from the bottom. I just want to get that because that'd be sick.
Poisonous
That'd be
toys.
very good. That'd be very good. This here from Marquintos says wrong. In this specific case, City have offered to settle. So the case fact remained undisclosed because the evidence will likely set a precedent for other open cases or tarnish their images. Yeah, I mean, I have read that in one of the other reports, though, that it was City that offered the settlement. So City basically said, if we can get this, we'll do that. And it's there. Again, it's how you want to read these things. And the history is full of people that offer settlements so things don't play out in public, and everyone always has a different view as to what does that mean. You're guilty? Does it mean you're innocent or whatever else? But at the same time, City are spending a colossal amount of money on legal fees as well, which will impact what they can spend on players and stuff at some point. So they've got to be very careful. So we will pretty much be Chelsea after Roman.
I hope so.
Well, I mean, it depends. If you get found guilty of all 115, I don't see how, if not for the short term, it impacts you. I just, whether it's, because see what, I hope they don't get kicked out the league, because I don't think that's fair on clubs in those other leagues. I just hope they get given like a big points deduction, say like 80 points, but it's spread over, say, like 5 years, because that way they'll be in the Prem, but they won't be able to win it. Does that make sense? Like
nasty.
that way,
That's nasty.
yeah, like just every year, like minus 20 points for like 5 years or whatever.
Or they have to give every other team £100 million every year.
Yeah, that's it. Because otherwise, if they go down to like League Two, like, they're just going to smash that league, aren't they? And it's just ridiculous. And
4 years of minus 20 is in every year. No, that's
every year.
That's evil. That's evil. That's evil.
If that happened on like year 3, I swear to God, like everyone will have like bought themselves out of their contracts. No one will be there.
What if they do like what they did to Rangers and not just League Two, but like all the way to like Conference Premier North or something like that? Like relegate them all the way down to the bottom of the pyramid. And make
do you know what I want more than that personally? Only if they've cheated. If they're guilty, if they're innocent, I'll be someone that stands alongside them and says the Premier League are out of order. What a disgrace. If they are guilty, though, of all of it, the major stuff, I don't even care about relegation and point deductions. I want their titles stripped. I'm not saying I want them, or the ones that I came second in, FA Cup finals we lost to. That would be the more dagger. If they get like relegated to League Two and in 3 or 4 years' time they're back in the Prem, that's bad. But if they keep the trophies that they cheated to win, that's the bit that I look at and think to myself, well, then everyone might as well just cheat because you still keep the trophies historically. If you get caught cheating in any capacity in the Olympics, you lose your medals. It doesn't mean they always give it to the next person, but that's the bit for me. If we're living in the realms of if they're guilty, that's the one for me, is strip those records, depends on, again, I know that some of the medals recently have been won outside of the allegation, but it all depends on the view of like, well,
because they had the platform set up.
That platform then enabled? Because would they have, if they cheated in the first decade, would they have had the platform to do a 4-peat and a treble? Probably not. No. So for me, it's like, yeah, I'd take it all away. Just seeing those records empty. Pep hasn't won a trophy in 9 years. That'd be amazing, man. It'd be amazing.
It's just going to look so weird. It's just going to look so weird over that whole era. Like, because what would you want? Like, say if you come second, like say obviously Liverpool when they pushed them all the way. Would like say if I was a Liverpool fan in that position, I wouldn't be happy to be like, oh, do you know what? I've technically won it now. Like it's not the same, is it?
I also think it's a weird one because if City in theory weren't there, you have no idea how that impacts everybody else. Because as an example, Chelsea, I don't know, there could have been a season where I won't even use Chelsea. There's a season where Arsenal, as an example, were 6 points off winning the league, but they finished third. I'm sure there's someone that this happened to. But they lost 2 times to Man City. Liverpool beat Man City 2 times, won the league in theory because they came second, but Arsenal were actually more affected by Man City's cheating than Liverpool were. Do Arsenal then, by definition, deserve the title? Because if Arsenal had those 2 wins, they would have been above Liverpool anyway. So it's one of those things where it's like, if you get rid of the trophies, I just don't think you can give it to other people.
But yes, and look. Do you know what? I think it's one of those things that I think it's a case of it, again. Some City fans getting annoyed. I'm suggesting this. I have said very loudly, very clearly, if they are found guilty of the major elements. I think it's about seeing how we all feel at that point. Because the one thing I would say is this: it could, if you actually start to really think about it in an educated, high IQ way, maybe it changes how you think about your owners, the managers that were at your club at that time. And the reason I say that is City were held up as the pinnacle. I've held City up for many years as the way they operate, the way they buy players, the way they do. It's interesting that since the charges came out, their recruitment's been a lot worse. And I'm not saying I'm not saying correlation, causation. I'm just pointing out that there's an overlap where you go, it's not been as good since the charges in terms of the recruitment. But I had City up there as the pinnacle, the best team in the world for many years, one of the best run teams in the world. And you can go back and watch content from a decade ago. Not once do you see me bemoaning the fact they have money to spend and where their owners are from. Never done it once. But imagine that if you've got that City as your pinnacle, and as a United fan, I judge what my club did. And we came second 2 or 3 times in that period. I know that Arsenal fans, I know that Liverpool fans at times, maybe up until this last year or two, have judged their club's ownership based on what City were doing. And we've made our minds up about our owners, about managers, about players, because we weren't quite able to beat this City team, or they smashed us. If it turns out that that was all built fraudulently, surely that may change how you. And I'll give you an example. When I had a job in a bank, we had there's a big competition for the last 6 months. No, it was a whole year competition. And it was basically they used to have this thing called VAPM, which was how they equated what you did, how much it was worth to the bank. And it was all done on the VAPM points. So the bigger the loan, the more points. You know, the better the type of account you open for people, the more points you got. And it was a national tournament, and London was a London branch. Person from London was always going to win, more people, etc. And my branch and a branch about 20 minutes away, like me and a guy called Suchu in my branch, number one, we were number 1 and number 2 in our branch. And this guy, we're up against a guy called Shah and a guy called Mark. I don't remember his surname now, another branch not far from us. And we were the top 4 in the country. We're going at it. Boom, 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 boom. In the end, I come 4th, Suchu comes 3rd. These two come 1st and 2nd. I was gutted. Got a well done at the end of year national awards, but they got like a big bonus. They won a flat screen TV and like a holiday, all paid for by the bank. I think the bonus was like 10 grand, and I was gutted. About 2 months later, they both got suspended and sacked because they were doing up pure fraudulence to hit those numbers. So for me, I remember my regional director saw me about a month after that, and I said, "When is the next award evening?" He went, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, I want my bonus, I want my holiday, I want my flat screen TV." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, I came fourth, but I was legit. So I should now go into second. I wanted it, right?" And it was only after the fact that I felt that way. Does that make sense? So I don't know. I think you've got to wait until these things actually happen. There was rumors they were being suspended. I was like, yeah, it don't matter. It won't happen. Once it was done and they were investigated and sacked, and they were doing up bare fraud. The manager got done in that branch too. They were literally coming in every day with a bag full of like fake bills and stolen passports, opening up bank accounts and putting them on the top tier accounts that they were getting this VAPM. And they wouldn't even come in the top 10 if they weren't doing that, by the way, but they all wanted the money. And craziness. And so I don't know. I sort of look at it, but I was judged. It was like I was judged as the 4th best, but still good. But what about the people that were coming like 6th? They didn't even get like a well done on the awards night, but they were in the top 4 in the country. So I do sometimes think you have to. And I always used to think about this happened a lot in the banking world and all worlds. Imagine you don't get a promotion because those 3 or 4 people did who were cheating the system and you got overlooked. Where's the recourse on that? So I do think a conversation has to happen. But I want to say this for the City fans again. If you're found guilty, you may be found innocent and the reaction will be very, very different. We're just talking about that scenario. So please don't get angry at us. Arsenal taking loans out with 0 interest, fair market value, but that can no longer be done. That's all been changed. So that bit went that way. Thank you, Colleen, for becoming an official member of the Terrace today. That means a great deal to us. Big thank you.
Do you know what? Just quickly, I've got a take on that. Do you know what I think is going to happen if City loses this case, which I think there's a reason why the Premier League might be slightly worried about this. I think there's more chance than not that Super League comes back and it actually happens, because I think a lot of people will be angry with the Premier League itself because of how this whole thing's gone down, because it just puts a massive black shield over since Man City have came through it. I feel like there's more chance that the Super League comes back if that happens, which I think the Premier League will be slightly worried if that does. So
is it? Yeah. I thought that was why the Club World Cup was like fashioned, though, the new form Club World Cup, to sort of deal with the Super League threat. I thought that's why it was made.
Yeah, but I feel like it changes people's outlook on the Premier League itself. I think if it happens, because everyone how they feel to do with, say, losing out on titles and all of this stuff, I think it'll have a big change on that. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. It says Terry Sherman did a trade deal recently. There's no way that it's going to go against us. And like I said, you may be innocent. I've said it on every stream I've ever done about City and their charges. If you're found innocent, I'll back you. If it's kind of ambiguous and it's just sort of time barred and we don't know, I'm just going to stay neutral on it. If you're found guilty of cheating, I'll condemn you. I don't know how I can be any fairer than if you're found innocent, I back you. If it's ambiguous, I'll stay neutral. And if you're found guilty of not the non-cooperation, I'm talking about the actual cheating, then I'll condemn you. Surely that's fair. And by the way, I actually think in reality, when everything calms down, City fans will be more angry at their club than any rival fan if they have 10 years of history removed. I'm sure you'll be a lot angrier than me, especially if you really, really do love your club. The 1 billion deal is separate from the 1 billion Puma deal. And look, City probably do deserve a 10, 12-year deal with a company like Puma that's worth that amount, because of how big and how popular they now are. So it kind of makes sense as we're moving forward into the new world. The next fiction or football question I have for you, gentlemen, and I'm going to go to Quest first on this one here. Fiction or football? Man City will lose their next 2 games and Pep Guardiola will walk away.
This is fiction, man. This is fiction, man. I believe United are probably going to do one over on City. I believe that with my heart, because that's just, I feel like this is the Premier League, man. It's like anything weird that can happen is going to happen. And right now, when Amrim is in the muddiest mud, this would be the perfect time for them to do over City. And I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But Pep's not going nowhere. Pep's not walking. Even if Pep loses the next 4 or 5 games in a row, I can't see Pep walking away because he's already scratched his head off in public. So at this point, it's like, it would be a bigger shame to walk. You've already shown everybody what you're like when you're at your when you're at the end of your tether. So I just can't see it. I don't think they'll lose, because who's the second game? They play United and then they play
Arsenal away.
Arsenal
away. So
I also can't see them losing to Arsenal.
Are we counting the Napoli game in this as well?
Probably not, no, because it's in between them. But
yeah, I just can't. I also just think right now the manager market, is so scarce in terms of quality that I don't think City will let him go. I think they've got him tied down for at least another 2 years, especially if those charges are coming out. I mean, Pep's already said himself. He said, like, I'll wait to see what the outcome is.
If they get found guilty of everything, man's running, right? He's
I don't think he's gonna run.
He's gonna have like there'll be something. I've got to go home, guys. You know what I mean? That phone call, guys, I've got to go home. My mum just called me. The house is on fire. I got to leave quick. I'll ring you tomorrow. 4 years go by. Like, sorry,
I'm saying fiction, but I just can't see him leaving mid-season. That's the only thing. Like, if you get towards like that back end of the season, the charges come out and he's sitting like 5th or 6th in the league, sure, fine. But after losing to United, I know people in the chat saying, someone said Arsenal are going to batter City. Listen, wake me up when you go, bro, because your head is spun. It's finished. But yeah, I can't see it. Fiction, man. Fiction for me.
It's fiction. It's fiction because he won't walk after 2 games. Like, I'd be very shocked if he did. But they could very well lose their next 2 games. They are actually below Man United, which is kind of mad to think about, considering Man United literally lost to Grimsby Town. It's just mad. It's crazy. If United beat them, it's a bleak start. And bear in mind, this is a team that is most people had third, if not. I've seen people have them first. I've seen people have them second. There was after the first game, everyone was saying, "Oh, they're the team to beat." Did you see Rangers? You see this? You see that? If after 5 games you've lost 3 of them, 4 of them. It's dark. It's a dark.
But David, we've
you're
seen
12
them do
points.
this before. We've seen
No,
them
no,
do
no.
this
What?
before.
We've seen them lose four out of their starting.
No,
five.
but we've seen them have darker Augusts than we've ever seen winters.
Four out their starting 5. 4 out their starting 5.
We've seen them
You ain't seen that.
be
We
in
ain't
the
seen that.
mud in August.
No. We ain't seen that. We ain't seen that. Not 4 and 5.
By the way,
No,
got Napoli in between those 2 games as well.
Yeah.
I don't see them losing at Man United. I understand, like,
It's at home as well.
yeah, at home. I feel like this is kind of reminding me of the Man United Arsenal game for the first game of the season. A lot of Man United fans going in with sort of renewed hope. Yeah, we're really good against the top 6. Amarin's going to do wonders. And then I feel like Man City, they'll play well against Man City. And I think Man City sort of scrape through them, but there'll still be questions for Pep. But I still think Man City will win that one against Man United. I think they'll probably... Are they away at Napoli or are they at home at Napoli?
I think they're at home.
They're at home. They're home. Yeah, they're home.
At home. I feel like, again, I think they'll get something at against Napoli. And I do think they'll lose against Arsenal. The question then becomes, obviously, Arsenal and Liverpool have a bit more of a lead on Man City at that point. And so, yeah, unconvincing wins plus a loss to Arsenal might keep the pressure on Pep, but I don't think he'll walk after these 2 games. I think he'll win the first 2, if we're going to include the Napoli game, and then probably lose at Arsenal. So for me, it's
someone just said something in the chat that I completely forgot that KBD's at Napoli. That's going to be interesting.
okay.
Yeah, but amount of times those things happen.
Will.
See,
Bro,
somebody says Terry hopes he walks. Well, of course I do, because him. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, these ain't my points. I take all these points from different people's tweets, or there's a Man United one coming up later. Robbie Earnshaw said it, or words to the effect. Yeah, of course I'd like him to walk, because walking early or mid-season when it isn't going well, it will stop any conversation about Prem legacy versus Fergie. So of course I want that. Why would I not want it as a Man United fan? But I do think we're beating them on Sunday, and I do think Arsenal are beating them in the league. I really do. Listen, Man United have played well in the league so far this year. The underlying numbers prove it. The conversion rate's been poor. The Napoli game the Grimsby game was awful, but I think we're beating them 2-1 this weekend. I think we're beating them 2-1, and I do agree. I think Arsenal might pump them a little bit. I think Arsenal, it might be a little bit proper backshot level, pump, like they could be in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think he'll walk. So I would still say fiction to the full statement, but I do think they're losing their next 2 Premier League games. I think they're losing. They're possibly losing 4 on the bounce in the league. They're definitely not winning in the 4. They might draw against United, but they're not winning either of the next 2 Premier League games. Either of them. They're not very good. They are really, really not very good. Backshot FC, bro. They're always there for a pumping.
What do we do if they win the next 5? Because
I have to say I'm wrong, innit?
That's my only worry is like, what if they scrape it 1-0, 2-0?
Then I look like a fucking genius.
Yeah,
well,
you look
I
a genius,
think
and I've probably got to take some metaphoric backshots. You know what I mean? Oh no, I'm in trouble. Sorry, guys, but yeah, I just honestly,
I think they beat Man United at home.
Okay,
They better beat Man United
like last season.
I think
I generally.
Do you know what's giving me confidence? I'll let you guys. LB last week. I think LB told me in their last 21 games against big sick teams, home and away, they've won like 4 of them. They ain't beating. They're not beating the big teams. And the one thing we've got this season, and I know we haven't taken all of our chances, but Mbeumo started scoring. Cunha looks like he's going to be fit. Šeško's going to be raring to go. On that counter, that slow high liner there's Mbeumo, I think he's going to hurt them. Now, if we miss loads of chances and they nick a 1-0 win, I'm still taking the moral victory because what I thought happened. We just didn't convert the chances. But the way people are talking is like, no, United can't win. I think we're going to, even if we don't win, it'll be a game where we go, bloody hell, how did United not win that? I think we will be. I think we'll beat them. I think it's going to be like last year, 2-1.
Bro, the thing is, they've got Haaland, man. He's getting spoken down to so much, man. Like, are we forgetting who this man is? This man is like
crashed it on the league for 2 or 3 years, you know.
This man's got like flipping. What is it? Didn't he just did like 88 goals in 100 games?
88 goals in 100 games.
Like,
But he didn't
come
win
on,
the
man.
World Cup, so he's not that good. So
The other thing is they got Donnarumma now as well, so it's not Trafford running out the box trying to claim high balls outside
Yeah,
of his
but
18.
they also won't be able to pass it out of the back as well.
No, do you know what I think the big thing is though? If you see Kusanov in the starting 11, just collect your 3 points immediately. Like infinite confidence if you see that guy. I promise that guy is the worst. City fans, relax. The worst centre back I may have seen in the Premier League in the last 6 years.
Oh no,
I'm assuming you've seen Axel Disasi as well. So that's crazy.
Yeah,
yeah,
I would stand by it. Wow, Kusanov is trash. Listen, Kusanov, if you see this, obviously just relax, bro. But you're trash. So I'm understanding it, bro. Nah.
So prediction wise for the game, but I've got something I'm gonna put up on the screen because I found this website that I love because it calculates everything for you, right? So I'll put this up on the screen. What's the score you're going for with City versus United?
City 2, United 0.
Yeah, I back that. I was thinking the same.
I'm going United 2-1.
I'm going United 2-1. So it's down to you, Kane. Your casting vote.
See, I have Man City like squeaking it 1-0, but 2-0 sounds good too.
Okay, so we're going to go 2-0. So we've got to go with the consensus on that. Okay, cool. We'll do some more of those predictions a bit later because what this website does is whatever you put your results in as, it then updates the league based on what you think all the results are going to be. So it shows you where teams might be. It's very, very clever. It's a bit clunky looking. It looks a little bit like an Atari from the 80s, but it's probably the best website for predictions I've seen. I'm trying to find a web designer to make me one that's Football Terrace branded because it looks the bollocks. It's actually a really great way doing it.
I will say, Terry, I used that exact website, but just at the start of the season, and I did it up to the end of September, and I had somehow got Aston Villa be top of the Premier League. So you know,
that's what I found. I found when I was doing my predictions, I was like, hang on, I've got to go back and look at my predictions again because I think after I did it up to 9 with match week 9 and Crystal Palace ended up being second. And I'm like, no disrespect, I don't think they will be. So I had to go back and just change a couple of their wins to draws because I was like, no, I probably over.
Yeah, am I the only one that can hear someone's mic?
Yes, is someone banging on their desk?
Is that me?
Might be Quest.
I'm not even,
might be Quest.
hold on, let me mute mine.
I had to mute David earlier because he was typing. I knew it was David, and I was like, right, tap your desk, please, Quest, while you muted. Now unmute and tap your desk. I don't know. It was different for that noise.
Nah, that's what I mean. Because my arms have been folded for 15 minutes.
Kane, hit your desk, Chris.
Is it me?
That noise there.
Yeah, it's there. It's there.
Was that
I was muted, so it's not me.
All right, Terry's you, man.
Me? It can't be my setup. My setup's too pro. There we go.
I don't have a setup, so it can't be me.
Everyone's gonna talk with their hands up now so that we can see who's doing it.
There we go. Viewers, make sure that like button is hit. Make sure you are subscribing. But in terms of other predictions on here, we'll just do a few more of these while we're here. We'll come back to Arsenal in a minute. Bournemouth, Brighton, what we going with?
Oh, Bournemouth 3-1.
I was gonna say Bournemouth 2-1.
Yeah, Brighton have looked stinky all season.
We'll go.
They just beat Man City. They just beat Man City.
I don't care. But you've not watched them in the last 2 games, bro. All season. Listen, City, fair enough, but City's defense has looked bad from the start. So to be honest, I kind of saw it coming in that City game, and Brighton have done City over before. Okay. But Brighton, I've watched every game this season. They look bad. I'm telling you.
David, you pick the next one for us. Palace versus Sunderland.
Oh, that's a great game. Do you know what? I'm gonna go Sunderland 2-1. I've just got a feeling. Got a feeling.
Sunderland 2-1. Kane, Everton, Villa.
Ooh. 1-1.
A little 1-1. Ash, Fulham, Leeds.
2-0.
To Fulham, yeah?
To Fulham.
Have they recovered yet, Fulham?
I'm going to do West Ham, Tottenham. I'm actually going to go 3-2 Tottenham in that game. I think they'll nick it 3-2. And what are we saying for Burnley, Liverpool?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's 6-0.
7-0.
That's a pipe.
We'll put in a little 5-0 there. We'll put the 5-0. Ash,
Isak hat-trick in that one.
Newcastle Wolves, what are you going with at home?
3-0.
Yeah, you're going to smash them. We'll come back to this a little bit later. We're talking Chelsea Arsenal next. So we'll come back to Chelsea Arsenal in a moment. The next fictional football question, though, I have. And look, I keep seeing this in sort of build up to the league, and I've seen Arsenal and Chelsea fans go at each other all summer. But I saw this tweet, and I was like, I've got to ask this question to see what the panel think of this, because Chelsea fans have kind of avoided this conversation a lot of the time, especially a man like Don. Hope you're well. But fictional football, Arsenal have a better squad and team than Chelsea. They might not win the league, but they will prove they are superior to Chelsea. I'm gonna go to. Do you know what? We'll come Chelsea boys next. I'm gonna go to Ash first on that. Are Arsenal a better squad, better team? Are they superior to Chelsea?
They're a better squad. I think they've improved in basically all areas. Better team is going to be an interesting one, because I think there's an argument that Chelsea might even have a better starting 11 with Cole Palmer in anyway. But I think Arsenal, are going to finish higher in the Premier League, though.
So they've got a better team then.
They've got a better whole team, including squad. Yeah, as starting 11, I said I think Chelsea's got a better 11.
Better 11.
But that's because Gyökeres hasn't. I think he still needs time to settle in. But when he settles in, I think Arsenal will have a better 11.
What are you saying, David? Because Gooners are pushing on this a lot this year. They're sort of like, yeah, we're trying to win the league, but Chelsea, like, sit down, you're getting a bit too big for your boots. What do you make of this claim? Is it fiction or is it football? Are they a superior side, which includes squad, to Chelsea? Are they superior to you? So, are they your boss man?
Arsenal. All right. Okay. I'm gonna go with football because I'm gonna go with football because I've said from when they signed Victor Gyökeres, they must win the league. I've said that 3 teams must win the league, and that is Arsenal, that is Liverpool, and that is Man City, all for varying reasons, all to different degrees. If Chelsea don't win the league this year, but I wouldn't want Maresca sacked. But if Arsenal don't win the league, then they will want Arteta sacked. So they have to be superior to me in some way. Otherwise, they wouldn't hold themselves to that standard. So it only makes sense for me to say football. And I agree with it, actually. I do think that the gap that they think they have over us is not as big as they think it is. And I actually don't think we're that far off. I just don't think we have the consistency to do it over 38 games. But I do think in a Champions League, as an example, if we got them in a quarterfinal, I could say we could beat them. I'm not scared of playing Arsenal in a quarterfinal. And I actually think that the biggest thing that's holding them back is their manager. Their manager is scared. He's shook. Again, I'm going back to this. I'm not hearing this, it's 2 great teams playing each other and wah. No, you went to Anfield in the 3rd game scared. You didn't try. You just went, I'm going to run it down. Even if I get to their box, I'm turning around and passing it back. Because apparently that was the game plan for 80 minutes until Szoboszlai put it top corner. Liverpool wanted to score. Arsenal did not. And if your manager is going to move like that in big games, you ain't winning niche. And again, the Gyökeres guy up front, and what I said is so far, it's been true. And unless they have to change everything to suit him, or else you bought someone for no reason. You bought just a guy who can just do something, but not much. He can hold the ball up, apparently. He can play football, apparently. Right now, from what I've seen, he can't do either of those things. So, yeah. I'm not convinced. And also, what I'm also not convinced about as well, Arsenal. I know, and again, I know what people are going to say. Oh, we had this many shots. We did this, we did that. Why are you 19th for open play expected goals? Explain that to me, please. Explain why you can't create from open play. Set pieces, I hear. Hey, I've got the set piece belt. I'm holding that championship. I've got 4 goals. I've got the most XG from from set pieces. I've got that belt right now. But we still create from open play. You are 19th. 19th. Let that sink in. 19th in the Premier League for open play expected goals. Don't. Come on. Let's. Until I see that guy. Until if Arteta lets the handbrake off, Arsenal might do something. But if he's gonna, just sit there and just wait, then yeah.
Hamid here says, "Man said so much and nothing at the same time."
That's true. I'm quite good at that. That's why I'm
just
here.
to answer football. So after all of that, you are saying that Arsenal are the superior side to you right now.
In a league format, yes. In a cup format, I think Chelsea will go further in the Champions League than Arsenal. But I think Arsenal will beat us in the league.
Well, we have a poll. We have a poll running right now. The poll is who, let me read it to you properly. Who is the more superior club right now? Chelsea, Arsenal are two of the votes. You can also vote for too close to call. 4, the option is depends on the form this season. So you can get voting now in the live chat on that poll. What are you saying, Kane? Who's the superior club side right now? Go on.
Yeah, as we speak today, 8th of September 2025, Arsenal is the better team, I think, and better squad. I think if I look at the Chelsea team, I think right now you could probably argue 3, maybe 4 players from Chelsea gets in, which for me would be Cole Palmer, Caicedo, Reece James, and maybe Cucurella. Outside of that, I don't really see any other Chelsea player getting into the Arsenal team. But in 5 years' time, we could be saying that Chelsea have assembled one of the best squads in the league because they've got potential in a lot of their sides.
5 years.
Well, in the future, because we'll obviously see the growth of players like Caicedo, João Pedro. I mean, a lot of time when you at least when we evaluate talent is from like a hindsight perspective. So I'm saying in the far future, when we look back, we're going to see Chelsea have got a really good team because I think João Pedro in time will probably end up a better player than Victor Gyökeres is. I think Caicedo again probably going to elevate even further, and same as Cole Palmer. So a lot of these players that Chelsea have that are quite young and have a lot of potential could well become better players than what Arsenal have today. But as we speak today, 8th of September 2025, Arsenal are a better team than Chelsea.
I would say on the starting 11 thing, I'd say there's definitely an argument, I think, for 6 of the positions. It's just that there are some positions where it's not even close, and that's where I think we lose out. So two centre backs as an example. Arsenal's centre backs are so much better than ours that fine, we might get 5 players into their lineup, but the players that we don't get into our lineup are terrible. Robert Sanchez.
I'm not saying Arsenal are clear of Chelsea by any stretch of the imagination. I think Chelsea, you could argue some of them, but I think if you actually ask most fans or analysts or whoever you want to ask, most people, I think a lot more people would probably settle on maybe 4 players from Chelsea getting into the Arsenal side, which are the 4 I've mentioned. Outside of that, I don't think you'll get many. And I include Eze as a left winger in this, by the way, which is why I've only said 4. But even then, I think some of those, like I said, Cucurella, you could probably debate with Miles Lewis-Skelly or Calafiori from the Arsenal side.
Completely disagree.
Well, no, you would, and that's fine. I'm saying
that's not even a conversation.
Well, that's what you're saying, but I would say
But to be fair, you don't rate international competitions, so I
that's true. I don't. So
I can't use Cucurella's Euros as a way to be like, it means nothing to Kane. So don't worry about it.
I do think it also comes down to if Saka or Palmer gets injured, because I think they are 2 big players for both teams. And I feel like if either of them are out, it's going to sway it either way. Because Chelsea did end last season very good. So that's why I think it's a lot closer than what people are thinking. And Arsenal have got at the end of the day, they bought bloody Nonny from them. So is that an upgrade?
I would actually argue, that Arsenal losing Saka is far more detrimental than Chelsea losing Palmer.
I agree.
Because for the 8 months that he didn't score, or whatever people want to bang on about, Chelsea actually had their better run of form towards the back end of the season and the front end of the season. So in the middle, when he wasn't scoring, it didn't actually affect the team's overall performance. And he was still scoring in European competitions. So technically speaking, we are, I think we're at, as a squad, we're far more, or we're by and large in a better position to succeed without our quote unquote star player. And that's because I think we have far more star players. Because I think this is a semantic issue. So I would say, I actually think in terms of starting 11, I think Arsenal might, and I would say might just edge the squad starting 11, but I think it's far closer than you think. Sanchez, cool. That's not even a question, Ingo. 2 centre-backs, yeah, I probably would give you Saliba and Gabriel. I think they've earned it over the last couple of years, but we're talking about this season. So even this season, yeah, I'll give you that. The fullbacks is not even a question. There is no argument. I know people, like Arsenal fans are really, really, really trying to sell, and I'm not buying. I don't think anybody should buy. I think if you buy, you're being missold, and you should claim for PPI and everything else you can claim if you think Timber's better than Reece James, because it is an absolute it's a horrible take. Cucurella, it's not even a question. Miles Lewis-Skelly, I wouldn't even let him wash Cucurella's boots. I'll be so real with you. They're not even close to each other. It's that real. And to be honest, majority of the England players are probably never going to win a Euros or a World Cup. So right now, any Spanish player is clear of the England squad. It hurts, but it's true. Then you go forward into midfield, yeah? I look at Declan Rice. Declan Rice and Saka, for me, are probably the only two in the Arsenal squad. You could maybe argue Saliba, but I think they're maybe the only two in the Arsenal squad that possibly could win a Ballon d'Or. Possibly. And they would have to do a lot to do that. Estevao.
Wait, what? Wait. Declan Rice win a Ballon d'Or?
He probably could. If Arsenal had won the Champions League last season, he 100% would have been in the top 4. I 100% believe that. By the way, this is not me saying I rate Declan Rice. I'm just saying after the cup run they had in Europe, because that's what really matters when it comes to the Ballon d'Or conversation, I think they would have put him in the top 4 for the Ballon d'Or race. I listen, maybe I'm crazy, but I'm just saying 2005, Gerrard won the Champions League and he came lower than Frank Lampard in the Ballon d'Or race. So anything could happen.
Gerrard.
I'm just saying.
Gerrard.
And people rate Rice. People rate Rice on the continent.
Gerrard.
Different players,
I'm just saying. Listen, don't get hung up on it. Remember, I'm a Chelsea fan. I have no reason to glaze this guy. I'm just saying the potential is there for these players. If England go and win a Euros in a couple of years' time and Arsenal go and win a Champions League, you will see Rice's name in that conversation, 100%. So then going forward,
but should he be? I don't think
listen, so. I don't know. I wouldn't put him there, but I think he would be there because people love Arsenal right now. If you're going forward from there in terms of squad, Saka versus Estevao, I think that's closer than you think it is.
No,
I think you go to Gyökeres.
Hang on.
Don't do that. No.
Not only am I standing on it, I'm sorry.
Don't do that.
I must have misheard. I don't like.
That's crazy.
Let me say it again. Say it again, yeah, please. Nice and silent, please, everybody.
Yeah. I think the conversation of who is a better player, Estevao or Saka, is far closer than you think it is. I think right now, I'll explain. I think right now, Saka's had the years, all right? So he's had the years, which makes sense. He's had the years, and he's had the time to put in the stats and the time to prove he's a good player. I respect it. I'm not saying Saka's bad, by the way. I'm not saying Saka's bad. But when you get a Ballon d'Or clause put in your contract, that means everybody around you understands the level of talent that you have. And for me, watching Estevao, I'm going, this guy in 2 to 3 years will be one of the league's most dangerous players. So do I think that they're close in terms of ability? Yes. In terms of what they've proved yet? No, of course. Saka's way ahead, but he's been in the league longer, so I understand it. And I'm not cussing Saka. I love Saka. So it's definitely not even a diss thing. But we're talking about squads. It's Saka, Rice, Saliba, and Gabriel. Or Gabriel, whatever you want to say. That's where it ends. For me, that's where it ends. Because Zubimendi, I'm not taking Zubimendi over Caicedo. I'm not taking Odegaard over Palmer. I'm not taking Martinelli over.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? You mentioned a minute ago, you said something about the Spanish national team. What did you say about the Spanish national team?
that anyone that he's clear of everyone.
Well, the Spanish midfield it literally plays for Arsenal.
No, Zubamendi, yeah.
And Moreno starts for them too. Scored a hat-trick last night.
Yeah, but I'm not rating Moreno over who? Let's ask that question. Moreno over who?
Well, I'm not making that argument. I thought I heard you say that everyone who plays for Spain is just better than like anyone who plays for anybody else.
No, that's not what I said. I just said right now in terms of what they've achieved, they're clear of the England players.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not.
But not clear. But not clear of Caicedo or Enzo, anyone like that.
I don't think Moreno is, no, and I don't think anybody would argue that at all. And I don't think Zubamendi is. And then, like I said, you go down to even Gyökeres, João Pedro is ahead of same goals, but he's got more assists. So I think if Arsenal can't get him scoring, it's going to be peak. Like right now, their top two assisters are Calafiori and Timber. So if you're talking about squads, I don't think it's far off. As a team, yes, because where they are in their process and the depth that they've brought, all this as a team, as a collective, they are superior to Chelsea. So I would say football, yes. And I think that they would prove by beating us again right now in their current form, they are superior to Chelsea. But I don't think the squad is necessarily better than Chelsea's squad. I don't think that at all. I think Chelsea have got shooters like real gunman all over the place. So that's just my opinion, isn't it?
If we had Arsenal this weekend, I'd say we beat them. Genuinely,
okay.
I'd say we
so you think I'm going mad? You think Arsenal are not?
I think the whole Estevao, that was the Estevao Saka thing. That was.
Wait, why is that crazy? Why?
No, bro, I hear you. I hear you.
Tell me why you think it's crazy.
No.
In the space of half a minute, you said Declan Rice to be a Ballon d'Or winner and Estevao over Saka.
No.
In the space of half a minute.
You got to twist it. Don't twist it.
Do you know how crazy that is?
No, don't twist it. Don't twist it. That's not what I said. Don't twist it. I said I wouldn't be surprised if he goes on to win a European competition and Arsenal would have done well in the Champions League last year. Like, let's say they went and won it. I'm saying people would have put him in that conversation. I'm not saying Declan Rice should be there. I'm saying they would have put him in that conversation. 100%. Look at the what do you call it? The Premier League awards just gone. Who did a clean sweep? It was all Arsenal players. It was Rice, Gabriel, Saliba. They cleaned up. So I'm not necessarily saying that Declan Rice is a Ballon d'Or worthy player. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I think they would put the pundits would put him in that conversation. Look at the amount of glaze this guy was 100% a Krispy Kreme donut after free kicks last year. I'm not going mad. That's what they were saying. This guy is the next is like England's answer to Zidane, bro. I was hearing this on the TL. Serious stuff people were saying. So again, I'm not saying I rate Declan Rice like that, but I'm saying that if he goes on to win some European competitions, 100% it'll put him in that conversation. That's different to Saka and Estevao. I'm just talking about pure ability. Pure ability. I don't see that much of a difference between Saka and Estevao. No, I don't. I think they're as dangerous. I really, really do. I really do. So people will say I'm mad. Fez.
Will.
Maybe I was supposed to be mad.
No, when you explained it, I kind of get what you're saying. Right. It's just that the sample size is just we're going off 3 games.
I said that.
I think that's
it's not free. No, but I'm not doing 3 games. I'm doing like what I saw in the Club World Cup, I saw from all, and I can only say highlights. What I saw him do at Palmeiras. Listen, this is a guy that at 16 they were forcing him into the first team, bro. That don't happen if you're not good enough. You have to be a certain kind of level.
I agree, but again, it's the timing. You have to understand that people are going to call you mad because for them it's been free, not for you, but for them.
Yeah, but listen, after game 1, we were asking the question: is Tijani Reinders the best player in the league? After game 1, so why is the parameters different for one player? Different for another. How long do we have to wait?
Who was saying that though? Who was saying that?
I was on the show when we literally had the conversation and said,
no,
is he going to be signing of the season?
I think some of the City fans said he could be the signing of the season.
After 1 game? Yeah. So is it now mad for me to say based on their ability in terms of what they can do on the pitch?
No, I think on ability, no, you specified ability. I get where you're coming from. Let's get some super chats here. Robert here. Says the drugs Chelsea fans are taking are effing amazing. Who's their plugs? Estevao is close to Saka. How? Madueke is better than all your left and right wingers.
Wow.
I don't even know if you know what a left or right wing is, bro, because you would not put Madueke there, bro. You're smoking Kuba. What are you talking about? Did you see him play for England? Are you sick?
He was our best player.
in a terrible football inside, though. That football was awful.
Hey, I will not have any bad words spoken about England and their talent level. If you're playing for England, you are a top tier footballer. Don't let
The fact
anyone
we
else
have
say
Dan
that.
Burns as an England centre back is depressing, isn't it? It's
crazy, isn't
absolutely depressing. This here from Tony, he says, according to you, you have a better right back, left back, midfield, and attack. And on ability, you have a youngster on par with our best player. But Arsenal have a better team. Did you say things and not think? But this is one thing I would say, right? This is, again, maybe it's the word superior. And that's why I like taking these tweets and wording them exactly like they are. I keep hearing Chelsea fans talk about how close teams are. Actually, we've got this better, that better, this better, that better, this better, that better, this better, that better. Do you think you'll finish above Arsenal in the league? It's either, don't know, or why is that relevant? And I always find that a little interesting that a lot of Chelsea fans are not prepared to go, yeah, of course we will. We are better than them. It's a lot of, it's like we're better in everything. They do I call it the Don, where Don will say, Mudryk versus Martinelli. Look, Mudryk's got the pace, he's got the skill, he looks better, the eye test definitely, per 90 minutes. I would keep Mudryk. I wouldn't sign Martinelli over him. None of that. Oh, so you think Mudryk's better than Martinelli? I didn't say he was better than him. I'm just, it's like, hang on, so what are you saying then? I do hear you, Tony. So why is there no pressure on Chelsea this season? That's to you, David.
I mean, there is pressure on Chelsea because everyone's trying to force us into the conversations that I don't think we're ready for yet. But it's funny because when people talk about league titles and the league race, they'll say we must put ourselves in there. But every time I hear it's Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, I never hear Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea. Never.
I do. I'll put you in it.
No, but I'm just talking about when people talk about the title race or the best teams in the league, it's always Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Liverpool, City, Liverpool, City, Arsenal.
Close.
But it's never Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Chelsea. Once I start hearing everyone start putting everyone together, then you can run with that narrative. But if you don't believe in it and I don't believe in it, why have I got to say it? That don't make sense to me.
Tony here. Oh, this is obviously to you, Quest. He says the Reece James that played 109 minutes this season averaged 55 minutes per game last season across 19 games. He was a great player. He doesn't play, mate. What shite?
Yeah, Tony, and what I would say to you, brother, is Reece James with one hamstring or no hamstring is still better than Timber will ever be. So when you come to terms with that, just let us know, bro.
What are you saying to that one? I mean, Timber's been a fantastic player, Kane, so far in the Premier League. If you had to pick right now, if you're buying Timber or Reece James, which one are you asking? I mean, you guys, okay, you're not going to get rejected. So whichever one you pick, you're going to get, right? We have to preface that for Newcastle, right? But
Thank
which
you.
of the two are you picking?
Neither. I've got Tino Livramento, who's better than both of them. But no. To honor the question, I'll honor the question. In a world where, let's say, Man City buys Tino Livramento for 80 million, and we're now sat there with the decision, I would probably pick Jurrien Timber, but only not really because I still think Reece James is a better player on ability. But as David will know, in American football, and I think it's caught on here, the best ability is availability. And Reece James' availability is just not what Jurrien Timber has. I know Jurrien Timber had that injury last year, I think, which had him out for a long time. But I think I think he's younger than Reece James. I could be wrong. Apologies if I am. But I think age, ability, and availability, I would pick Jurrien Timber. But that's not to say Reece James isn't one hell of a player. And I could see an argument either which way.
He's 2 years younger, basically.
Well, Timber's 2 years younger than Reece James.
More or less,
Yeah.
yeah.
Timber's one of Arsenal's best players, 100%. You just can't hold a torch to Reece James. You just can't.
I saw someone saying that
very hard one because
Reece James was fit for 8 months, but I think that took a lot of management on his game time. So, again, Reece James is a better player than Jurrien Timber, but the availability of Timber alongside his talent would probably sway me in his favor rather than Reece James.
He needs to sort out his injury problems. If he sorts that out, I think Reece James is potentially the best right back in the league.
Do you know what's mad though? Like when was Reece James last injured for more than 3 games?
It's probably a while, but I think that's also because
it's been like a year and a half.
No, but when was the last time Reece James played a full 90 minutes back to back?
Yeah.
But I mean, why does that matter? If your best player can give you 60 minutes and score you 4 goals, we're not going to care. This argument about, Reece James is never fit. Do you know what? In our biggest moments, Reece James was fit. He's been there for some of our biggest games in our history. Champions League final pocketed a Sterling and people will get upset at this, but pundits were saying he's in the conversation with like that year, the numbers he was doing, he was up there with Messi and Ronaldo in terms of numbers. And Reece James pocketed him. I don't want to harp on about Chelsea because I feel like this happens every time, and I understand this is very controversial for a lot of people because people want Chelsea to go away. I get it, but the truth is, there's certain players that play for Chelsea. You cannot deny it. It's undeniable, bro. Reece James is, if not the best right back in the league, he's probably like top 20 best players in the league, fit or not. And if Haaland had fitness injuries, we'd still be saying, bro, whether he's fit or not, if he scores the goals, we respect it, bro. So I hear it on the he's available or not available. It's just mad, like.
Nah,
Reece James
he does his job when he's
Reece
here.
James is a right back that doesn't score 4 goals a game.
Yeah, and he's not on all the time.
I'm confused. Like I'm so confused.
Got what I was trying to say, man. Okay.
Wayne here says Chelsea fans consistently have the worst takes. Toyin says someone check if this man works for Krispy Kremes. This glaze is generational. Tony here says 1 hamstring, 2 hamstrings, no hamstring, doesn't play.
Played for England the other day. This is what I mean. What's going on here?
But the worst thing is he played the other day, but he's probably going to have a hamstring injury by the time we actually play with the World Cup.
This is nuts. This is nuts because the only reason he doesn't play in the league is because Maresca's managing him, so he doesn't get injured again. But all of a sudden, this is my point. I get it. I get why it's stuck. But a lot of what we're saying about Reece, it's not even true.
So Reece James needs Gusto to be fit so that he can stay fit. Because if he has to start playing every minute, he'll break down.
Yeah, you got to also think he's coming into the peak of his career. He's 26 in December. He should not only be able to play 55 minutes of a game at peak performance.
Also, you're trying to say that Reece James doesn't have injury problems, but he's also.
I didn't say that. I did not say that.
No, but you're saying that it hasn't happened for 18 months or whatever.
Since Maresca's come in, check his injury record.
Yeah, but he's doing load management, so there's clearly a worry there. So.
It reminds me a little bit of like Mason Mount, right? Because again, they started the season, played okay for us, started 1 game, started 2nd game. Halfway through the 3rd game, we've got to take him off. Why? It looks like something's about to go again. Like that's the issue with player. I think United had it with a player. I don't remember who the player was. And everyone's like, "Oh, Jerry, you're always moaning about him getting injured, but he ain't been injured for. It might have actually been Donny van der Beek, and like, he hasn't been injured for a while. So yes, because he ain't been coming on. Like I think Kieran Tierney was the same at Arsenal. He went for a period, wasn't really getting a lot of injuries. And everyone's like, see, Tommy Ashley's injured. This guy's injured. This guy's injured. Tierney isn't. It's like, yeah, because he's not playing 90 minutes every week. Like that's what happens. The bodies break down. Wayne here says Chelsea must win the treble this year. Best player in every position. This is just madness, is what Wayne says here. Robert's also back. Who says only 3 players play for Arsenal. Caicedo, Palmer, and maybe Reece James. Zubimendi better than Enzo. Saka plus Eze plus Noni over all your wingers. Raya is better than Rob. Calafiori over Cucurella. Saliba and Gabriel over your any centre-back pairing.
I would say I would probably play Rice over Enzo. Yeah, I'd play Rice over Zubimendi and Enzo. So for me, it would be Caicedo, Rice, and then Palmer as like a double pivot, and then Palmer as the 10. That would how I would play.
Is Noni Madueke the guy that was, in and out of my team last season? how can he be better than all of my wingers when he was literally in my squad last year?
He can't be.
That's
what I'm saying. Though.
Otherwise, Maresca would have played him every single game and not sold him. So, yeah. If you want to, and again, for me, Eze's not really a winger, but if you want to go Eze, Saka, cool, do that. But in the same way Reece James has injury problems, Saka also has injury problems. So if he's not there, then
I hear that.
Is he better than my wingers? No, he's not.
D Kings is trying to force you into the conversation, but yes, Chelsea's 11 over Arsenal's. Arsenal have the second lowest XG. Why aren't teams trying to beat us? Man United did. Should have done if we took our chances. Papa Beard here says, a panel, if you had to choose for the last 5 years, would you be a Arsenal fan or Chelsea fan? Which one would you choose for the last 5 years?
Newcastle.
What kind of dumb question is that?
Yeah, I'd love Newcastle as well, bro.
What?
But this is what I mean. Like,
I want a Champions League. I want something they never won before. What do you mean?
Was that within the last 5 years? Was it?
That's in the last.
Yeah, that's why they won
2021.
I mean, and you won the.
Oh yeah, 2021. Yeah.
2021.
If it's only 5 years in isolation, if it's 5 years in isolation, and that's it, of course you're picking a Champions League, a Conference League, and a World Club Cup. You are.
But what? And what over the last 5 years? Arsenal, what is it? Just FA Cup? Is that it?
FA Cup and 3.
No, Arsenal not won the FA Cup in the last. Oh yeah, they 2020.
When Arteta.
Well, I suppose you could say that's past 5 years now. It's the back end of 5 seasons ago.
Yeah,
they've just gone. But yeah, if you go 5 years back, they were champions. They were champions of the FA Cup. They didn't win the FA Cup, but. Yeah, if we just do it in isolation, then you're probably picking that up. But because if it's only in isolation, you're not going to be picking the journey, and that don't matter, does it? Wayne here says, David, stick to F1. David, stick to F1, David. You have the worst takes, and you are consistently wrong. Football isn't your thing.
Thanks. Stick to F1. Thank you. Stick to F1. I do not have the worst takes. I'm critical of my own club half the time. I don't like some of my players. And I'm not always wrong. And I'm actually sat here talking about my opinions because some of you would sit on this panel and really struggle to do that. So, yeah. Yeah, love it or hate it, you're watching.
And David's even sitting there with a winner's medal on today as well, aren't you, mate?
National champion, by the way.
Can I just say this one thing about this fictional football question, yeah? The thing that actually really gets me about this, yeah, is not even about whether we're good, better or not better. For me, I actually just genuinely think this is sad for Arsenal fans because I think this is where they've got to the point where you just have to argue like, oh, we're better than you now because we beat you. It's like, as a Chelsea fan, I don't even think about whether I'm better than Arsenal. I don't think about whether I'm better than Tottenham. I don't think about whether I'm better than most teams. Like, other than Liverpool and Man City, honestly, I don't think. I know this. This is completely true. Yeah. Because I don't have time to think about it. Because I spend all my time thinking, how can Chelsea be the best? So I'm like, I don't understand for Arsenal how they've got to the point where their biggest thing now is to prove every season how many games Arteta's won against the top 6. Like, I've not thought about this because I still have memories of Drogba crashing it in at the Emirates. I don't care. I literally never think about my like head-to-head record against Arsenal. Don't get me wrong. There's been some sad moments in times gone by, but like, there's no world where I'd ever, and it's going to hurt, but I'd never, ever consider Arsenal to be on the same level as Chelsea. But right now, currently, their team is superior. Squad might not be, but their team is. And that is just facts. I just don't get why it hurts Arsenal fans. I don't get it. What teams in your life, Quest, do you have that, like, do you care about the head-to-head challenge with where you like that does matter to you? Which clubs? United bothers me. Bothers me big time. Because I remember going into school. List, I get that. Yeah, in Russia. I still remember that game. Yeah, in Moscow. I went to school the next day in tears. So I want to see them in the mud every day. Yeah. City bothers me because I feel like City get the love that Chelsea don't. Yeah. City have paid their way into the cartel. Oh, sorry, no cartel. It doesn't exist. Yeah, right? But City paid their way in. We must deny this thing of ours. We deny this thing of ours. We got him, Ash. We got them. Told you. Liverpool bothers me, man, because that ghost goal still haunts me to this day. So I'm like, okay, look, City, Liverpool, Man United, they will always bother me. Arsenal, you just can't, you can never bother. It's never gonna hurt me. Even if they beat us 10-0, yeah, I'd be sad for 2 days. And then I just remember Drogba's free kick. I'd remember Baku. I'd remember all these moments where we crashed it on. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over the fact that we lost 5-0 2 seasons ago and Havertz scored 4. Fine. Like, we populated half your team. We do this. I don't even want to be vindictive, but it's getting to that point now where it's like, you know, when your little brother's talking up, it's thinking, brother, shut up. Mum loves me more. You've not even got it like that. Relax. Sorry, I'm done. I'm done.
Mum loves
Joking,
me
Arsenal
more.
fans. I love you, really.
I can hear cordial.
Mum loves it.
That's what
Mum
I'm just
loves
saying. What he
people.
says to me, right? Oh man. No, I hear it though. I hear it. They're better than us, so it is. It's facts. It is facts right now. So Chelsea do need to improve. So, Bears.
Even if you're facing their worst period in 1,000 years, a crisis or whatever, City is still miles better than United. To me, United is a dead club. Yeah, thanks, bruv. Don't need. Yeah, well, we're pretty crap right now. Guess your memory started in 2006.
It didn't, bro, because I was born in '94. So
There we go.
that's what I mean.
Love from the Unemployed Pundits podcast. Big up yourselves. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate that a lot, people. I do, viewers, make sure you stay with us. Make sure like buttons have been here. I have another question. Okay. Fiction or football? Bruno Fernandes has wasted his career at Manchester United despite creating more chances than any other player in Europe, 512 since 2020. He has nothing really to show for it.
Facts.
You think it's a fact? You think he's wasted his career at Man United?
I feel like at Man United, you can't waste your career. I think straight up, especially if you can live there, if you can be there for over a prolonged period, because of the size of Man United is, you can never technically waste your career there with being the captain. 294 games, 185 goals and assists. That's crazy numbers, but they are numbers that you would expect for winning Premier League, Champions League. So I think he looking back at his career and seeing that, will he think he's wasted it? I don't think so, because of where he is, and being the captain of Man United is a massive thing. But would you prefer to be winning Champions League and Premier Leagues? Maybe. I think that he could potentially think that he's maybe wasted part of his career. But I think as a Man United, like if I was there, I would not be thinking that I'm wasting my career. But if he gets you to the point, I think the thing that he needs to think about, if he can get you to the point where you're back challenging, like you did the other season, but if you get back challenging and he's the captain of Man United, he will not be thinking that.
I mean, he has won a trophy there, so it's not like it's been a total waste. He's won 2 trophies even. So
two.
Yeah.
So he's had a career. Me personally, he's in that position where you're a really good player at a bad team. Do you stay for like the benefits you already have, or do you leave and try and create legacy elsewhere? If he had the option of going to like a Barca or a Madrid like 2 years ago, then he should have, or a Bayern Munich, he should have left, and then he should have gone and won more things. But I don't really think that option was there. And now his current options are Saudi Arabia. So yeah, I mean, kind of knowing your market, knowing your market. Is it a waste? Probably not. He's had a bigger platform playing for United than he ever would have had at Sporting. So I wouldn't say it's a waste. No.
It depends what he values, though, really, doesn't it? Because if he's like a Man United fan, diehard, then it doesn't matter how. If he won nothing, he probably would have. He's not going to see it as a waste.
Like Shearer, yeah,
like Shearer, absolutely.
Waste.
But well, no, it's true. It's shameful as that sounds. It's absolutely true. But that's just, I'm not bothered. But, Bruno Fernandes has the talent to have won Premier Leagues, to have won Champions Leagues, I think. And if that was what he was interested in, then he would have to regard his time at Man United as a waste because, again, he's only won an FA Cup and a League Cup in the time since the question was paused, I think. And so, again, it comes down to what he values. Could he have got a move to somewhere else? I don't know. I think leaving Man United at the peak of his powers have been very difficult. So whether a move was possible, I don't know. But I think he had the talent and was more than good enough to be in a team that would have won the Premier League or Champions League. And he hasn't because, unfortunately for him, he's been at a team that hasn't been at that level. Exactly.
That's interesting for me. Like, I get where I see it from the angle of this post is I think Bruno being at Man United in a team that has, look, he's won FA Cups, he's won League Cups, lost 2 European finals. Even if we'd won those, it'd still be seen as underachieving based on a club with the stature that we have. I think being at Man United in that time, one, we've had a very toxic fan base because we've been losing and we've been pulling each other's hair out, and half the fan base has loved him always, and half the fan base has despised him because the player. This is always what happens with struggling teams: is you adopt. It seems that you adopt more of an affinity for your favorite players rather than the team and the club as a collective. So then there's the player FC wars that went on, and then you get rivals that probably do see him really, if they're being honest, as the only real shining light in the last 5 years. But it's then fashionable to shit on him because, well, look, United have got nothing else. Let's take that one thing away from them as well. I do think if he'd have joined City, which he was rumoured to, I still think he'd have created and scored similar amounts because he's done that for a number of years. I think he'd be viewed at very, very differently. I think that if he'd gone somewhere else and won league titles and Champions League, which I think he has the ability to do, I think he'd be perceived different. I actually think if Man United were winning Prems and Champions Leagues and he behaved the way he did, I don't think people would view it as being as petulant. I think it's coupled with, why are you screaming and shouting like a winner when your team's crap? I think all these things kind of happen. So has he wasted his career? I think from a certain perspective, you can argue that he has. But then loads of players in the last 12, 13 years, especially the ones that have spent 4, 5, 6, 7 years at Man United, they just haven't achieved what a lot of their teammates of the clubs they were at or their compatriots have done. I look at Luke Shaw as another one. I know that I've wanted him gone for a long time because of his injuries, but I do think, again, he could have joined nearly any club he wanted to at 18, 19, and I think he did probably make the wrong choice in reality. So, yeah, I think it's an interesting one, but yeah, the numbers just the one thing that always makes me laugh about Bruno, where I always will defend him. I don't like him in the 8 at the moment. I'm not going to change my mind about that right now. But I don't know how someone can create more chances. And by the way, KDB is the closest to him on like 300 and something like 80. I don't see how you can create the volume of chances he does, score the volume of goals that he scores, assist the amount he assists, and then people still say he's an absolute dog shit player, no good ability on the ball. That's the bit that annoys. That's the conversation where I think had he been at a club that was winning some more major trophies, I do think the sort of view of him would have been a little bit different because those numbers are absolutely insane. I mean, he has a record that's never been discussed really by the mainstream because we didn't win a trophy that year. But he scored more goals in a single season as a midfielder than any other English-based midfielder ever. Broke Sir Bobby Charlton and Frank Lampard's record in one season. And it just got no respect, like whatsoever. Now, I don't expect it to get as much respect as like a really good title-winning performance season because I'm someone that advocates for winning trophies alongside it. But as an individual, like no midfielder has ever done what Bruno Fernandes has done in 140 years. And it's just like it's not even a footnote, which I just find interesting. So I think from that aspect, I do think you could argue he wasted his career because had he gone City and done it, had he have gone Madrid and done it, had he have gone PSG and done similar numbers, I think people would look at him really differently. And I suppose that's a bit of a shame, but he might not regret it. As you meant, he might have loved being at Man United. He's won some trophies. Maybe he'll win another one. But I do think he's one of the most disrespected players of the last 5 years in European football by and large. There's things about him that aren't great, and he does give the ball away a little easy, and he can be petulant. But as a footballer, you don't. The thing I always look at is this: you barely hear other footballers complain or moan about him. All they do is praise him, all of them. So sometimes I look at it and think fan perception versus what professionals think does seem to be really different.
you know what? And I would actually say, yeah, I agree. I actually think it's fiction. Like, I don't think Bruno's wasted his career because he is the kind of player that has the kind of talent that he should be playing for one of the biggest teams in the world and should probably be captain and should probably be the biggest contributor in that team because that's what his talent warrants. Now, is it unfortunate that he's at a United team right now that isn't the same juggernaut it was before? Yes. Could he have gone to Barcelona and done this? Yes. And would people talk about him differently? Yes. Now, there's things in his character that obviously like make him quote unquote unlikable. And I hear it. And I think it's kind of sad because actually I think the pundits and the media have done a good job on him. Like they've managed to convince everybody that the worst thing about Bruno is he complains that he loses and he complains when things are not going his way. Like we all don't do that. Like
that's
he's
crazy,
just,
though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mad that,
imagine being slandered because you complain that you're losing. That's crazy.
Honestly, it's mad.
Like,
it's mad. Like genuinely, in and I'm not trying to be too philosophical here, yeah, but in a world where like we're like, oh, we should be more honest about the way we feel, blah 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 blah, and he shows it on the pitch. I get people go right. He's not a leader because he shows his ass and he gets upset and he demonstrates too much. But I'm like, but this is a guy who consistently shows he's not happy when standards are low. I'm like, yo, cool. Maybe he shouldn't be captain, but then he should probably have 6 or 7 other players around him that mean that he doesn't have to keep doing that. Because the reason why he's doing that is because the quality around him is so bad. When he had Pogba and all these other guys around him, he wasn't doing this as much. Like, I actually think I also think he's kind of playing in the wrong era. Like, if this was a Bruno in like anywhere from like 2005, 2010, you would see Sky Sports highlight packages about this guy with U2 music in the background every week. This guy would be what they call a Barclays man. He would be rated to the hills and back.
Yeah. It also as well, his role got changed. He had his first season and a half. I think he scored. I don't even know what he got in totality in league goals, but it was probably somewhere in the region of 25, between high 20s and 30s. And the Ronaldo move hurt him in the sense of his role changed. And then we had Ten Hag come in, who again creative numbers remained, but just that kind of breaking into the box and scoring goals dissipated. The way we played changed, so we weren't getting as many goal scoring opportunities. There weren't as many cutback goals, which he was good at. We started getting less penalties as well, and some penalties, but we were winning penalties because of the way Ollie had us playing football. The amount of times the Rashfords and the Martials and Greenwoods were being fouled on their entries, and you boys will see it at Chelsea now that you've gone up a level with your wingers. You're going to start winning more penalties because these players are going to get fouled a little bit more. And then that's why I don't look at him as overly selfish, because he's had his role changed on a number of occasions, and he gives me those Rooney vibes. Okay, you put me deeper, I'll crack on. The amount of times we all disagreed with it. He got stuck on the right wing. Now, some people would say he got put on the right wing because Ten Hag or whatever manager doesn't really rate him in the 10 role. And it's like, I always thought that was really moronic. It's like, no, it's not that they didn't rate him. It's that he doesn't rate anyone that can play on the right, even the right wingers. So he's moving a trusted player out there. Fergie did it to Rooney all the time. Fergie didn't trust Rooney playing 9. That's why he moved him to the 10 or out wide and bought a striker. No, it's because he couldn't have both. You know, it was cheaper to buy a £20 million Van Persie, who was fantastic, than it was to get one of the best 10s or wingers in the world, because the Glazers weren't sanctioning the money. But he knew he had Rooney, who would be unselfish and play out of position and still do a decent job. So, like Bruno himself, like the squad building, the changing of directions, he's also been impacted in that. Had we have carried on building the squad in the way we were under Ollie, but we just brought a better manager in, we didn't sign the Ronaldos, we carried on building and playing Bruno in that place, he'd have scored and assisted probably even more goals. And yeah, so I don't know if he actually regrets it. I'm not too sure if he does. Some people will say he will, some people will say he won't, but I'd like to have seen him, win a few more major trophies. Ginger Bish here says, Bruno is elite, world-class, whatever you want to call it. He only gets hate because he plays for United. If you think Bruno is rubbish, I worry for you. I think when people say it's rubbish, that's where I just can't. I just can't quite compute it. It goes straight away.
I remember when he first joined Premier League, I absolutely loved it because he was in my FPL every year because he was like guaranteed 1 GA basically every game for the first 2 seasons. He was there, unbelievable, man.
Top guy, bro.
Fantastic. Look, boys, I want to thank you all for coming on the show today. I want to thank the audience. I want to thank everyone who's tuned in. We actually have one more question, but I have to save that for another day just because I've actually run out of time. But I want to say a big thank you to everybody, my panelists, the super chatters, everyone who's hit the like button so far. A big thank you to each and every single one of you. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. Also, this is going to redirect you to Hussam's watch along for the Sweden game. So go check it out, people, and we'll catch up with you all soon. Peace.